it's Hailey, and today, or actually over the next few days, you are going to be joining me as we reset and refocus for the next month. I am super excited to be doing this video because I wanted to do it last month, but I didn't really have a handle on how I was going to be resetting since I kind of have a new goal system that I am following this year, but now I feel like I have it figured out. But as much as I'm working toward goals, you guys probably know by now that my philosophy is basically enjoying life. I'm not out here trying to push myself and pressure myself to get the most done. I find it really enjoyable to have things that I'm constantly working toward. So I do enjoy setting goals. I think it's something really fun. So just wanted to have that little disclaimer there. Well, it might seem like I'm trying to do a lot. This is like a soft and gentle reset, if you will. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel and completely overhaul my life. And that is exactly what has been working for me so far this year. So we have a lot to do over the next few days. And this is my page in my Notion that has my complete monthly reset routine. This is more of a reference page that I have that I will use every single month. It's actually a new addition to my Notion, but I do have a couple of pages that I set up every month that I'll show you a little bit later that are like the working pages that I use for each month, but we will get into all of that. Don't you worry. We're going to be spending a lot of time in Notion. So as you can see, I have things broken down in, or hopefully you can see, but I have everything broken down into categories, and I have 4 categories here. So we have my Notion setup, which is the largest category, but that's just because there are quite a few moving pieces there. It's something that I enjoy doing, and it's not something that really takes all that long. So while it is the largest category, it is one of the most enjoyable. Then we have reflection. So these are all the things that I need to be looking back on before I can move forward into planning for this next month. And then I have my extras. So these are just the little things that I need to do. So to give you a quick read through, I'm not going to go super deep into it, but for Notion setup, I have to set up my daily pages, which I actually can check off because I've already done that. I do need to do an update because I kind of changed something on the page and added a little schedule there. So I will do that. So I guess I'll uncheck it until I add that. Then we have my habit tracker pages, which is broken down into my daily habits, the already established habits, and weekly habits. And then we have routine pages, so my morning and night routine pages. Essentially, all these pages, I'm literally just copying and pasting. And that's it, and just adding the date. It really is not hard. But maybe I will do a screen recording so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. Then I have my weekly goal planning pages, which once again, just have to set up the filters for the dates and everything. And that is the same thing with the weekly reflection page. My mood tracker I need to set up, and my nutrition pages. I have a daily nutrition one and then weekly nutrition tracker, so I'll have to set those up. And then my monthly goals hub and my monthly reflections hub. So that is what I was talking about, where I have, those are actually the working pages for each month. I actually have already started working on those, just setting it up because I like to theme it around what's happening that month. So this month it's themed around Easter because I think that's very cute and fun. So I've been working on those today. Then for reflection, I will look back on my yearly goals. This is something I do on a weekly basis, but I like to take a real look at it, and we will get deep into this later, don't worry, but I like to do that at the end of the month. We have my quarterly goals because I divide the year into 4 quarters, so then it is easier. It's basically the seasons that I just kind of go with, and we're ending a season with this next month, so definitely a good time to be checking in. My habits progress, so I can see what habits are working, which ones I need to work on, all of that, and then I have to reflect on the previous month, of course. So this comes in a few ways. We have goals and kind of what was working, what wasn't. But then I also love to look back on the things that I did and just the fun that I had last month. So this involves going through the goals, like I said, but then we go through my memories because I have a little memory page that I always am filling out, and also the photos. I like to kind of archive my photos into Notion as well. As far as planning goes, I will do my goal planning. That's the major thing that we are going to be tackling. So this kind of has a specific order to it. A lot of the other things things I can kind of do in whatever order, but with the goal planning, I will do that after I have done my reflection. So I will have my goals planned, and then I also will break those goals down into tasks, and then those tasks I am going to assign to a week. And then I want to plan my wish list. What was the wish list? Oh, like my wish list of things to do, not like a wish list of things that I want to buy. I couldn't remember. I literally just wrote this not that long ago, but could not remember what I meant by that. But yes, my wish list of things to do, which is like, it's just kind of, oh, I want to try a new craft. I want to do this. Like, it's just little things that if I don't do them, that's totally fine, but they would just be nice to do. Then I would like to plan my workouts, like not specifically what the workouts are going to be for each week, although sometimes I'll do that, but just kind of getting a handle on what do I want fitness-wise for this next month? And then my content calendar needs to be planned, which that one I actually can check off because I did that in a previous video that you guys will have seen, and I'll link that down below, just in case you haven't seen it yet. And then as far as the extras, I have to set up my physical calendar. I brain drain a bunch of tasks and just everything that's on my mind that I didn't get done in February, that maybe I want to do in the next month. Whatever's on my mind, I'll just kind of sit there and spew it all over the page. Disgusting use of the word spew, but whatever. Then a digital declutter. I don't know if I'll get to that because I really am in desperate need of a digital declutter and organization that I think is going to take longer than I have. So that's just kind of something that I generally would like to do. Cleaning my space, another thing that I don't think I'm going to be getting to in this video. Maybe in some capacity I will, but I kind of more so would like to make a plan. So a plan for decluttering and deep cleaning and all of that, digitally and physically. And then finally, I have a bunch of journaling that I love to do at this time as well. So I like to look back on last month's goals and look back on just last month in general, how I thought it was going to go and how it ended up going. And then of course, thinking about what I am wanting for the next month. I like to do a little bit of a journal prompt about the goals that I have for the next month and then just what I'm hoping for in general from the next month. So I hope that made sense. Obviously that is a lot of things, but like I said, a lot of it is really quick and just fun things. And it just helps me to kind of get a handle on what I'm hoping for and feel like I have my feet under me at the very beginning of the month. So I'm going to try and be as quick as possible and not like rush through things, but this video is probably going to be a long one, I'm thinking. So I hope you enjoy it though, because I'm very excited to take you along with me. So I'm going to sit down and finish up with setting up my little hub pages so then we can kind of get into there. And then I think today I'm going to start off with reflecting back on February, because that is definitely one of my first steps. So I think today, since it is kind of later in the day already, my goals are to have those hubs set up, the goals hub for March and the reflections hub for March, and to have my Notion daily pages set up, the ones that I mentioned, the habit tracker and all of that, because that is a really quick kind of mindless task for me to do. And finally, if I can get to it, I would like to reflect on February. If I can't get to it, that's totally fine because it is a bigger task, but at least getting started on it would be nice. So let's get going. So day one of my reset is done. I am just kind of resetting the living room and I'm going to go to bed because it has honestly been a busy day. Work has just been crazy lately, so it's just everything is happening now. But I'm glad that I got what I did today done. I got all of my Notion set up done except for the little addition to the daily pages, but that's totally fine. I got like the bulk of it done and it really did not take that long. And I got my little goals hub and reflection hub set up and everything, and they look really cute. So I'm very happy with them. So my plan is tomorrow we will start off with the reflection, and maybe we will get to some goal setting, but I think it might be tomorrow for reflection and then the day after will be more for goal setting, but we'll kind of see how I'm feeling. But I will see you guys then. Hello, it's the next day and it is time for our second day of resetting. So today we are going to be starting off by diving straight into Notion. So taking a look at my monthly reset routine here, I have kind of tweaked this a little bit just to make it so then it's a block that syncs in other pages, which is really helpful. And as you might notice, I did finish with the daily pages, so I have that checked off now. And I can't remember, there were a couple other things I added in here, but it's really not all that important. So we are going to start off in the February reflection hub. So I have made my March reflection hub and it does look kind of a little bit different than this one, but I will be showing you that later. We are going to start off with one of the more fun tasks, which is just looking back on the month and all the photos that I took and everything. So I scrolled down to my highlights and memories, which I'm just gonna blur because I mention like people's names and stuff and I just don't want to show you guys that. But my highlights is something that I fill out every single day. If I don't do my journal that night, then I don't have it filled out, but I really try to fill it out every single day. And it's just like the number one thing that was my favorite thing about that day, essentially. So it's just a good way to like see all of the fun things that I did in a month. And then coming down to the memories, this is kind of similar, except it's more so like what I did that day specifically. So it's not like the highlights, it's like today was a good day, today I worked all day, like I didn't do anything else, today I blah blah blah. So it's just because I find that if I don't do this, I forget everything and I'm like, what did I even do for the past month? So I like to have this to look back on. It's one of my favorite things that I do. But you might notice that next to each of these spreads, or whatever you want to call them, databases, I have a blank area. And that's because I'm actually going to go through all the photos that I took during the month, and I'm going to put some of my favorite photos on either side of here. So I'm also going to, coming down here, I'm going to put some more photos in here. This will just be like all the photos, not necessarily all of my favorites. And of course I have to do this little reflection. It is basically like my thoughts for the month, what exactly I did during the month, what was going on, just all of that. It's really just kind of like a brain dumped, not really prompted at all reflection on things. And then coming up here, I have my books that I've read, which actually I need to add a book there because I have finished a book this morning. And then we have my favorites. So this is just like my top 3 favorites for things. As you can see, I kind of fill it out throughout the month so then I don't forget things, but I definitely want to take a deeper look at it and see what else we can add. So I think that we will do together a little bit later. So I'm going to start off by going through my photos and everything and adding all of those things. This is just kind of my like fun reflection time. I just throw on something on YouTube or whatever I'm wanting to watch and just look back on the month, and it always makes me feel really good, and just like looking back on those memories is really fun. So we are doing this before we're actually going to dive into like the goal setting and everything. And the reason why I do this is I just feel like it helps me to stay more present, which is ironic because I'm like looking back on things, but it makes me realize how many good moments I had. So it encourages me to be more present going forward in those moments and everything. And this month is kind of an interesting one to be reflecting on because I didn't really do all that much. I kind of had some struggles this month, to be honest. So I'm very eager to look back and like feel maybe a little bit better about things. I always enjoy going through all my photos. I have added it to my weekly routine for the future to, like, at the end of each week, just put all the photos in my little reflection thing, so then I won't have to do it all at once. But honestly, I didn't have that many photos this month. Like, I have not been doing a very good job of keeping my resolution of capturing more memories and like taking more photos, so I definitely need to work on that. But I picked out my favorite photos and have them on either side. Once again, I'm not going to show you just because I want to like respect other people's privacy essentially, but I thought we could talk about the past month and my favorites now. I like doing this little favorites thing. I think it's just a fun little exercise to do, and I actually was also prompted by this because I was like, okay, my favorites, like obviously I'm picking 3 things, but sometimes I have more things that I was obsessed with, so I changed that lower prompt to things I was obsessed with. It used to be what I did in the month, which I have in other places, so I decided that that made more sense. But first of all, let's start off with the favorites. So for things that I did, I had a little spa date night with my fiance, which was a lot of fun. That is definitely one of my favorite things that I did. By the way, the 3 are in like no particular order. But other than that, I feel like I want to kind of focus on the hobbies and stuff that I did. So I would say definitely up there is making my first amigurumi. I had so much fun with that, and I felt just so proud of myself for doing that, honestly. Like, it honestly filled me with so much joy. I cannot explain the serotonin boost that it gave me. So definitely up there. And other than that, I'm really proud of the videos that I posted this month. So maybe that's one of my favorite things that I did, because other than that, I want to say like painting and drawing and stuff, but I feel like that's something that I was almost like goes in the learning category, which I already have one of them there. So yeah, let's go with posted new fun video content, because I do feel really proud of everything that I did this past month, even though it was kind of a month of some struggles. Now, number 2 is foods that I ate. I always try to fill this one out as soon as I can, because otherwise I just forget all the recipes that I made during the month. So we have 2 here already. We have pesto meatballs and chicken pot pie noodles. And I haven't been cooking as much just because I've been so busy, which is really unfortunate. So I don't know that I have a 3rd here right now. I guess for now I will put, I made this like Japanese barbecue chicken, which was fun, so I'll put that for right now. But I'm definitely not like, I liked it, but I don't know if it was like my favorite. I think I'll keep it at that for now. Next, we have things that I read. So honestly, my reading has just been not great lately. Like, I have not read all that many books that I have fallen in love with. The Bodyguard by Catherine Center is the one that I have on here so far, and I did really like that one, but I feel like always by this point in the year, I generally have read at least one book that I just can't shut up about, and that just hasn't happened this year, unfortunately. So I don't know, but I would say that the book that I just finished actually is one that I liked. I liked it quite a bit. The author's note at the end definitely changed my thoughts on it, but I was really liking it in the beginning, and then I thought it got kind of corny and over the top, and then in the end, like, I did enjoy it. But that was The 100 Loves of Juliet by Evelyn Skye. So I don't know if I want to put this one on here, or Technically Yours by Denise Williams I enjoyed quite a bit, or The Lonely Hearts Book Club by Lucy Gilmore. Basically, I've read 6 books so far this month, and the only ones that I am like not wanting to include on here are Winter Garden by Kristen Hanna, because I was kind of a little bit let down by that one, and then Hello Beautiful by Anne Napolitano I ended up DNFing because it just wasn't for me. I'm gonna put The 100 Loves of Juliet on here and Technically Yours. Actually, I think I'm gonna put The Lonely Hearts Book Club. I don't know, there's like, they're kind of tied, but I'll put The Lonely Hearts Book Club because I was thinking about the characters of that one and I was like, yeah, I did really like them. By the way, if you wanted more like in-depth favorites and everything, I am going to be doing my February wrap up and favorites video. So I can't remember, that's going to be out next week. So stay tuned for that, but I will be going more into depth on my thoughts of all the books that I have read, as well as like just favorite things in general. So you're getting kind of a sneak preview here, but I'm going to be talking about a lot of other things that are not in here. Next up is things that I watched. So generally I kind of go through phases with what I'm watching depending on like if there's something airing or I'll watch like different YouTubers and everything. And lately I have been in very much a YouTube phase, but other than that, I have been watching, I'm just gonna put Drag Race season 16, which has been enjoyable, as well as Drag Race UK versus the World season 2. So I guess it would be series 2 actually. I don't know if they call it that, but I know in the UK it's series. Also, I'm gonna add that. Sorry. Yeah, I've been watching those two, which are my favorites. I'm not generally a big like movie or TV person, but I do always love watching Drag Race. And then other than that, honestly, I would say my month has been made up of watching Cozy K's YouTube videos because I have just been absolutely obsessed and they just like make me feel so good. And yeah, it's just awesome. So that was actually easy. Next is the top 3 things that I've listened to, which I will include podcasts here if I have listened to podcasts, which I haven't really been listening to podcasts this past month, or just songs. So I have 2 songs in here so far, and I already know what the third is going to be. So Sex to Me by Charlotte Cardin is one that I was shown by a couple of my friends, and it's actually a Quebec artist, and I had never heard of her before, to be entirely honest, which I know is apparently surprising. But yeah, I'd never heard of her, but I loved the song. And then Unholy by Sam Smith. I have just really enjoyed that song, and I was listening to it a bunch again this month. And then the final song on here is going to be Bad Guy by Billie Eilish. I'm not also a really big music person. I don't know if there's 2 L's in Eilish. That could be spelled wrong. Maybe 2 L's? I have no idea. I'll look it up after. I have been listening to Bad Guy because I am doing a trio for my burlesque show in May, and we are doing our dance to Bad Guy. So I've been listening to that a ton. And finally is my top 3 things that I learned. So already on here, I have watercolor painting because I started to learn that. I could include making amigurumi here as well. I am going to put amigurumi on here as well because I was just so thrilled with that. I know it's already on things that I did, but I feel like this one is worthy of the overlap. And other than that, I've just been doing so many different things. So what else have I learned? I think I'm actually gonna put, and it's kind of abstract, but how to bounce back and reset, because I was kind of having a hard time, which I'll definitely get into, but I feel like I have bounced back and been able to reset way quicker than I ever have before. So those are my favorite things. It's always just fun to have this little, like, I like to use this page as kind of a snapshot of the month that I can look back on. So now I'm going to be filling out the things that I was obsessed with, which is just going to be like a brain dump of all the things that I filled up my time with this month. So like drawing, painting, paint by numbers, reading, obviously, like all of that stuff. Whatever I was watching on YouTube, I'll also put that there, or shows I was watching, just the things that come to mind when I think of how I spent all my time this past month. And then obviously I'm going to get into my thoughts. So I had really big ambitions for February because I came off of January, which was so successful. I was just killing it and I felt so energized and ready to go. But as I have mentioned in probably many videos by this point, and will continue to mention in videos that I've already filmed and need to be posted, so I apologize, but we've been trying to figure out my medication for ADHD, and I was on too high of a dosage for a large part of February, and it kind of was like, it was really weird because we were gradually raising the dosage and I felt fine. I didn't really notice a difference, and then it was like all of a sudden, after I had been on that dose for probably more than a month, actually. I think it was like a month and a half or so. I can't remember specifically, but all of a sudden it was just not good. Like the number one thing that I noticed was that I was super irritable because I was having so many like very intense sensory issues. When the dogs would bark, I would just be like wanting to pull out my hair. Like when, I don't know, something didn't feel right, like I was just really having a hard time with that. And I was also hyper focusing in ways that were not helpful. Like hyperfocus is an interesting thing because it can be helpful, but in this case I was hyper focusing on literally everything and I physically could not pull myself away. And I've always struggled with that, but this was like to even more of an extreme than I'm used to. And I didn't even know that was possible, to be honest, because I knew it was something that I had had a hard time with in the past. But yeah, it was just brutal, okay? It was very, very hard to pull myself out of anything, and I would just feel so guilty, and I'd be like, I need to put this away, but I just wouldn't be able to. I also was experiencing very bad insomnia, so I was not sleeping well either, which just all of it was compounding to be not good. So I ended up not being able to follow through on a lot of my goals and a lot of what I had wanted to do this past month. And I definitely have changed my mindset because like I know why it was happening, but now I'm just like going forward and like I said, bouncing back. We are going to try again next month. It's totally fine. Like just because I had a couple of weeks, like that one step back doesn't erase all the progress that I've made. And we're still kind of figuring it out. Like I'm on another dosage and I'm trying to see if this one works, and I'm not entirely sure. I need to kind of give myself time to adjust to it, but it has been definitely a journey. So February was just an interesting month. I definitely got like started on a lot of new hobbies and stuff that I really have been enjoying, and I made sure that I was taking time for myself and to do things that I enjoy and like really incorporate play and doing things really that I used to do when I was a kid. And that just has brought me a ton of joy. So I'm glad that I did that. But at the same time, I kind of fell off the wagon with my like routines and everything. So then I kind of felt like I was floundering around a little bit. But like I said, I know why it happened, so we can move forward from there. So I'm going to just kind of sit here and write down some thoughts for the past month before I get into the goals portion of things. It's basically just going to be like showing myself kindness and being like, maybe the month wasn't the best, but look at all the things that I did, and that's okay. So it's really just about making myself feel good. None of this is about like tearing myself down or anything. I still accomplished so much, so really I have no reason to tear myself down, but I think it is important to look back on like not only accomplishments and productivity and goals, I think it's important to look back on how you were feeling and everything as well. It's after work. Honestly, it's just been a really wild day, and I wasn't initially planning on doing this as part of the video, but I think that we need to end off the month on a good note. I mean, there's still one more day because it's leap year, but my point is I need a little like body, hair, self reset. That is exactly what I feel like I'm needing right now. So I am going to have an everything bath. I just prefer baths to showers, honestly. I know you're like marinating in your own filth, but quite frankly, I don't care. But my hair is in desperate need of a wash. I had like gel and stuff in it. It's so greasy and gross. Just ignore that. But I also want to pick out a body scrub, and then I could do a face mask. That would be fun. I'll wash my face with the Glossier Cleanser Concentrate while I am in the bath, and then maybe I'll pick a face mask afterwards. So for now, we'll start with that. I'm going to get out my moisturizer for after, so I'm going to use the Sol de Janeiro, just the classic Brazilian Bum Bum. It smells literally so good. I am obsessed. And then body scrub. Actually, I have this little dry brush, so I'll do some dry brushing, and then I'm going to use the Watermelon Shea Sugar Scrub from Tree Hut. I got this when I was in California, because I've seen these everywhere, and this smells so good, like a Jolly Rancher. Delightful. As far as my hair goes, I will show you what I'm going to use. So I'm gonna start off with the Redken Hair Cleansing Shampoo, just to get everything out of my hair. Then I'm going to use the InnerSense Hydrating Cream. That's just my shampoo and conditioner. Actually, I'm only gonna use the shampoo because I'm going to use the Briogeo Don't Despair Repair Deep Conditioning Mask. And that will be my everything shower. Afterwards, I'll probably put in some hair products, and then I'm going to blow dry my hair. But I think actually I'm probably going to split this video up into two parts. I was just going to do one super long video, but I kind of just want to split it up. I feel like it's going to be easier and more manageable for me. So this part, I think the focus is going to be on like the self-care reset, and then the next one is going to be the goals and everything reset. So we've done like the reflection today. I looked back on everything that I did in February. I feel really great about how the month went. I feel like I had a great month, and it was honestly just really nice and fun to look back on everything that I did and everything that I accomplished too, because I did accomplish so much. Like I tried so many new hobbies and stuff, so I just had a lot of fun doing that, and now I just feel like I need some relaxation. Well, I've been talking a lot about goals and everything. I'm still on that journey of just like enjoying the journey. My motto for the year is literally to enjoy the journey of becoming my best self. So as I'm constantly improving and working on these things, I'm making sure that I am enjoying that process, because to me, that is the most important part. Why am I gonna do it if I'm not enjoying it, you know? So we are up in my office, but while I am waiting for my face mask to dry, I am just going to fill out my little physical monthly calendar here. So this is just a desk calendar that I like to fill out and just have like an overview of what's going on. It's just kind of a reminder that I will always see since it is on my desk. So some of this I will be filling out in the next couple of days as I do the more goal-oriented reset, because what I like about this monthly desk calendar is that you have your top 3 goals that you can put, and I divide them into my top 3 main focuses for the year. You have healthy habits, so here I'll write down the habits that I want to focus on or the habits that I am newly implementing. You have a to-do list up here, which isn't necessarily goal things. Then down here for acts of kindness, what did I put there? I think I put mostly like acts of kindness toward myself, because I didn't really know how to use that section, to be entirely honest. And then this month's focus, I put whatever of these 3 is my number 1 main focus. And then for this month, all I had on here was my content that I was going to be posting, but for the next month, I think I'm going to do it a little bit differently. So now we are going to dive into my computer for a second. So surprisingly, we're not in Notion right now. And also I'm not going to do my face over here. I'm just going to do a voiceover because we're just going to be here quickly and I don't feel like setting up the camera. But this is something different that I did this month, where I have a kind of calendar overview of everything that is happening. Obviously, this is something that exists in Notion as well, but I just find that this is a little bit more simplified for me. So this has a few calendars in here. It has work things, it has YouTube things, it has obviously like my filming schedule as well as my posting schedule. And it also will like notify me the day before so that I know what I'm doing the next day or know what is being posted the next day. It's just kind of an easy way to see an overview of all like the big, most important things for that day. So I am going to capture some of this in my monthly planner. I'm not going to capture all of it. And also, I also have my fiance's work schedule here. I just have hidden that because it says his name. So I'm sorry, I seem so secretive, but it's just privacy. You know, this has been an ongoing thing on my channel, but that's just kind of the way that I do things. I don't know exactly what I'm going to be capturing on my calendar. I'm not sure if I'll put the filming schedule on there. I have not decided yet because I don't want it to be like too cluttered. So I might leave that out and just focus on the bigger things, but we'll see what I end up doing. I did try, I know Notion calendar is now a thing, and I was trying to do it, but it was not working. I kept getting an error that it couldn't add a calendar, and I have no idea why, because I had added other calendars that I made the exact same way and they worked fine. So I don't know what was happening there. So I just used Apple Calendar, which I'm used to anyways. is super shiny because I have on a moisturizer, so just disregard that. But I have my calendar all set up. I just blowed my hair is now dry. It's not perfect because I'm going to bed anyway, so I just kind of will do like a rough blow dry so then it's dry and I can go to sleep. But I am feeling refreshed and just ready to go. So tomorrow we will pick up again with our little self reset. I do have a few more things to do for this portion of the reset, and then I will get into the goals hopefully later tomorrow as well. There's a lot that I'm doing, I realize, but they make me feel good, so it's fine. So it's the next day, and just to finish this video off before I start filming the goals portion of my reset, I wanted to show you guys my little template, or not really template because I'm not sharing it yet, but maybe eventually I still need to look into it, but my reflection page in Notion for March. So you already saw my February reflection page, and this is just the version of it that is for March. So like I said, it is themed around Easter. I feel like it's really cute. I'm happy with how it turned out, but it's just kind of what works for me. So I changed a couple of things here from February. At the top, instead of having my reset like checklist, I have things that I'm looking forward to this month and then my main highlights for the month. So that will be something that I fill out after, but they are like my top memories for that month. Then coming down here, we have the reset. So this is a synced block to the actual reset page. And then once I'm done with this, I'm going to change and like say that it's March and unsync this one from the other block. So then I will just have like a fresh sheet for the following month, if that makes sense. This is where I'm kind of reflecting on my thoughts going into the month. So I don't have a ton here, honestly, and I don't think I really have anything that I will be hiding. There's not really anything personal here, but I have already filled this out. I did this today, and then the next thing that I am currently filling out is what an ideal day this month will look like. So included in here, I also have weekends, which is what I'm going to be filling out next. But this is essentially just like what I would like to keep up with, what habits and stuff I would like to keep up with to provide kind of a framework for what I am wanting to do. And I will obviously get more into that in the goals portion of things. But for the weekends, it's because I had kind of been like throwing away what I was doing on the weekends, like just kind of throwing away any semblance of organization, which is good sometimes, but a lot of times it just left me not really feeling great. So that's why I would kind of like to come up with a little bit of a game plan for the weekends. And that's not going to be work oriented. It's going to be more so like wake up at 7, because if you sleep in really late, then it's hard to get back on like track with the schedule. On Sundays, do your reset. On Saturdays, like don't go off of your planner, just kind of do whatever you want, that sort of thing. I hope that makes sense. Then coming down here, you can see the blank template for the highlights and memories. Obviously, I don't have anything because it's not quite March yet. It is almost March, but not quite. And then we have my favorite things, which is also empty, and my reading, which will be filled out soon, and then my after reflections here. Then I need to fill this out, and I will need to blur a couple of things here, but this is going to be my calendar. Like I showed you an Apple calendar, I'm going to put it in here as well. So then I will have it like right in Notion, but that's kind of like a lower priority thing for me. And then I have everything I accomplished, which I can't remember if I showed you guys this, but essentially, I can't remember if I showed you this, but this is linked to my tasks, so it literally shows every single thing that I've done. So you can see this is February right now. You can see where I kind of started not feeling great. And yeah, it just kind of shows literally everything that I've done throughout the month, all the tasks and everything. So I have it hidden just because it can be overwhelming, but it helps to show like you did accomplish a lot in the month, you know? And then I also have my photos little template thing here. So I will fill that out as the month goes on. But yeah, that is the reflection. The other page that I have, of course, is my goals page. So we will go over this in more depth when I do my goals video, which will be out shortly after this one. I'm not exactly sure when, but this one is also Easter themed, all ready to go. I do have stuff in here because these are all my February goals right now. I haven't changed the filters. And what I'm going to do, I think here for my little wish list, I'm going to change this from being like, the thing that I liked about this layout is that I can have in progress if it's something that I have started, because this wish list thing is things that I would like to do, but like there's really no rules to it. If I do it, I do it. If I don't, then I don't. It's not a big deal at all. So I'm going to try and figure out a way to lay this out where maybe I can have like in progress and complete, but not have it be a database sort of thing. I'm not really sure what I want to do with that yet, but I will be doing this. I was going to do in this video, but I think it makes more sense for me to do it in the goals setting video. But this is like completely different. Well, they are things that I want to do. It's not a goal where it's something that I'm really working toward. It's kind of more of like a guiding post for me when I'm like, I have no clue what I want to do. This is kind of, oh, like these are the things that I was interested in doing, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I will show you everything about this page once we get into that next thing, which I'm actually going to film now. So that's actually going to be all for this portion of the reset, but literally I'm going to turn off the camera, change the battery because it's about to die, and then start filming the goal planning portion. So I'm really excited for that. I hope that you guys are too. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss that one. It will be out very shortly after this one, hopefully. Depends on editing and stuff, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for resetting with me, and I will see you guys in another new video very soon. Bye!